Hey, what's going on guys, and welcome to the video. Today's vehicle is a 2018 Chevy Silverado. Came in straight off the farm, and this truck is all kinds of dirty. So taking a look at this 100-year Special Edition Silverado, and as you would expect with this being a farm truck and driving on grid roads, there's a ton of mud up in the fender wells, down on the running boards, and then piles of dirt accumulation on the back of the truck. And of course the front end is just hammered with dead bugs too. Moving inside, and it's not much better as the floor mats are filthy. There's dust covering almost every square inch in here. Cup holders are dirty and full of caked on grime. And then the owner happened to be hauling some grain in the back here, and it unfortunately spilled over. So I'll have to get that all cleaned up too. And now just before we jump into the video guys, take a quick second and subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos like this. All right guys, well you can see I've got a ton of work ahead of me on this truck. I need to go grab some winter boots, so while I do that, let's get started. Okay, so by some weird stroke of luck, the weather improved and has been above zero the last couple days, so luckily I'm able to get this truck washed outside, and as you saw in the opening shots, there's a fair bit of mud on here, so using the pressure washer is the safest way to get all of that off before starting on the wash process. So like you guys have seen before, these carpeted wheel well liners just soak up dirt and mud like a sponge. So they take a fair bit of time to spray out and get them clean and presentable, but it is super satisfying getting to watch all of that mud just wash away. So the barrels of these rims were completely full of caked on mud, and even though you can't see it unless you're looking really close, I couldn't ever leave it there. Again, it just takes some time to hit it from all the different angles, make sure I can get it all out. Now while I get all the mud off the running boards here, I figured I would remind you quick to go give me a follow over on Instagram if you want to see sneak peeks, behind the scenes stuff, or you just want to say hey, because that's definitely the best place to stay up to date on everything. So before I get the box sprayed out here, I need to gather up as much of the spilled grain as I can. And over in the corner, there ended up being a whole pile of like nuts and bolts that were just buried in the grain. So I didn't want to just toss those in case the owner goes looking for them. So I finished off the scavenger hunt and then just put them off to the side. Turning to the wheels, and after spraying on some wheel and tire cleaner, I'll use a stiff bristled brush on the tires to get any dirt or blooming off, and then a variety of brushes to get the rim faces and lug nuts nice and clean. So once I've got the truck all foamed up, I'll go around the vehicle with a detail brush and get into any of those areas that my wash mitt is going to miss, like around all the emblems, in behind the gas door, and then around all the crevices on the front end to get some of those dead bugs out. So one thing I don't mention very often is my wash method, which is referred to as the 2-bucket method, where I've got one bucket with soapy water and one with just water. And after every panel or two, I'll rinse and wring out my mitt in the rinse bucket really well, which helps to just keep any of the dirt it picks up separate and greatly reduces the chance of instilling any swirl marks in the paint while I wash the vehicle. So with the truck drip drying in the garage, I've got a few minutes here to tackle these dirty floor mats. So after getting them sprayed off, I'll use some all-purpose cleaner diluted 4:1. I'll agitate with my soft wheel brush and then just rinse them clean. Alright, so like I mentioned in the last video, I've recently switched over to these Detail Factory brushes as my old ones are pretty worn out now, and so far I'm loving the quality of these things, and the fact that they offer a boar's hair brush which gives you a bit of a stiffer bristle for agitating various areas. They also offer an ultra soft version which is perfect for the more delicate areas on a vehicle like instrument panels. Brushes like these are one of the must-haves for any detailer as they're so versatile, so I highly recommend picking some up. I've got the link to them down in the description below, so feel free to give them a look. Alright, turning to the big pile of grain in the back, and so instead of running it all through my vacuum, even though that might have been more fun, I'll get what I can with the dustpan and then just use the vacuum for the rest. So one tip for vacuuming seats is to really spread out those seams as best you can, because there's usually a fair bit of dirt hiding down in there. You can easily get out with just a little bit of effort. So you can probably already guess by the look of these carpets that those rubber floor mats did a really good job protecting the carpet underneath, and sadly my Bissell had to stay tucked away in the box for this detail. Now from an owner's perspective, rubber floor mats that provide good coverage do a great job keeping all the mess contained, but me being a guy who loves to extract dirty carpets, have to say I kind of wish people wouldn't buy them. Alright, moving to the interior trim here, and because all the panels in here are really dusty and muddy in some places, I'm using a slightly damp microfiber towel with some Meguiar's all-purpose cleaner, diluted 10:1, as it comes in a concentrate, basically just wiping everything down to get it clean and prepped for Aerospace 303 later on. And I'll also spray a bit into a detail brush to get the speaker grills clean, and that works really well. Something I also do at this stage is wipe down the seat belts to get any dirt or dust off of them, and there was a fair bit on these, as you can imagine, given the amount of dust that was in this vehicle. Alright, so with the leather clean and conditioned, it's time to UV protect the interior, and for that I'm using 303's Aerospace Protectant, which is going to leave the entire interior with a non-shiny, non-slippery matte look when it dries, and it honestly just looks incredible. In my experience, this stuff lasts about 4 to 6 weeks on the inside, so if you're interested, I've got the link to this and almost every other product and tool that I use in the description below, so feel free to give it a look. Moving back to the paint, and even though this truck is only a couple of years old, I'm still going to be claying the paint to remove any surface bonded contaminants like tar, tree sap, or any other road grime this truck has managed to find, and this is going to leave the paint perfectly clean and ready for a coat of wax. So with a finishing pad on my DA polisher, I'm applying some of my Meguiar's Mirror Glaze synthetic sealant, which is going to add a ton of gloss and keep this paint protected for up to 6 months as we head into winter here in Canada. Time now for one of my favorite things, and that's applying 303 Protectant to the exterior black trim. And it's able to quickly revive the look of the trim, but also provide great UV protection going forward to hopefully avoid any further fading. Now I know some of you have been curious about my glass cleaning methods, and it's really pretty simple. Just using a quality glass cleaner like my Meguiar's D120, I spray some into my waffle weave towel first and then wipe down the glass, flipping it over for the final wipe. And really same thing for the inside of the windshield, which I know can be a tricky area to reach and not leave streaks, but this is where the waffle weave towel is most important, as I find it's the secret to streak-free glass. Alright guys, and 9 hours later, I'm done with this Silverado. Absolutely loving the color on that truck. It looks so good. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you smash the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And yeah, enjoy the guitar outro, and I'll see you guys in the next one.